Hey everyone, Mark here for the first episode of the Oh Hi Mark podcast or show. Oh hi Ken. This will be eventually a live stream when I have a better work content schedule, so I can actually record like do live streams on the channel and this and that. But I want to have it on a separate channel from everything else because my other brand, a nerd named Mark with like the Toku stuff and this and that. Like, it's cool and all, but like I kind of like that glass ceiling's there. And so I was like, you know what? Like maybe I'll do the new channel. Like I made the channel a while ago. I just haven't done anything with it. But the Oh Hi Mark podcast is a little bit different outside the norm of what I put on the channel. Obviously, I am powered and partnered with Space Panda Delta, and I do have my Delta 8 Mango Kush gummies right here, which give me all the focus I need to talk about all this stuff, as well as gaming and this and that. So there's going to be a lot on this channel, and mainly entertainment and pop culture news. Uh, Not going to be one of those people that's going to talk about everything negative that has happened in pop culture, but I do want to talk about like, big announcements, uh, all that stuff. Just trying to, stuff that I used to do um, with the their name Arc podcast, but a better, um, I guess a better. I'm trying to think how to word it. A little more freeing, a little more okay. So the people over there on my other channel, they're not really into a lot of this stuff. So I don't want to have too much diversity on one channel because then it just messes with the algorithm. And so I was like, you know what? I have this channel. I've been sitting on it for quite some time. Haven't done anything with it. I literally have the logo. I have all this stuff. I just haven't found the time. And I was like, it's a new year. I really want to like, be a little more focused. Um, and yeah, Space Panda Delta is going to help me focus on this. Now, I got a lot to talk about in the first debut episode. I'm going to be going over Diamond Comic Distributors filing for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. I'm going to be talking about the new Daredevil trailer and announcement for that. I'm going to be talking about Marvel Rivals as well as Until Dawn movie, which is coming out in April of this year, and we got I guess a teaser for it, as well as a little bit of the synopsis. And as someone who is a big fan of Until Dawn, I'm not happy about that. So that will be an interesting conversation when I get to that segment. Other than that, I'm going to be just talking about those things for this episode, going over the videos, breaking them down, giving my opinions, talking about some news. There'll be more to it when I start to compile things a little bit more. But just for like, the introductory episode, I figure, you know what, we'll keep it casual and chill, just like I like. I also got my shake with me to keep me energized. Is my green screen on? Why is this coming up black? Hold on one second. Let's see what's going on with the camera. No, it's off. Why is this? That's weird. Why is it showing up as black? I wonder what's going on with my visuals. Hold on one second. Something is up. Let Yeah, why is this not showing up? You know what? It's weird. It's weird. Maybe it's just how my monitor is because I was having some computer issues. But I don't want to waste the time. I'm going to start off going over Diamond Comic Distributors filing for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. This is intriguing. I'm still setting up how I have the layers showing up on here, so it's kind of cutting it off. My OBS is not set for this, it's set for other things, and I just realized that right when I clicked the button. But here we go. On the 14th of January, early in the morning, we had a message from Chuck Parker, who is the president of Diamond Comic Distributors. For those of you who don't know I'm just going to call it Diamond. I'm just going to call it Diamond. Diamond, they're basically, if you are at a local comic book shop and you run the shop, how they get all their comics is there's a distributor who ships them all out based on your orders. And that's what Diamond does for Marvel and a whole bunch of other ones. Not DC anymore, because DC kind of went on their own a couple years ago during the pandemic and quarantine stuff. That's why DC Comics come out on Tuesday, and all the other comic books that you get, whether it's Image, Dark Horse, Marvel, etc., they come out on Wednesday. They get them beforehand. Obviously, they don't get them the same day. Sometimes they get them on Tuesday, and sometimes they get them later, which has been an issue recently with a lot of the Marvel comics, especially for those of us who have been pulling the Ultimate Universe. We've had some issues with Diamond, but let's get into the message from Chuck Parker. He says, "Dear valued customer, I'm ready to share one of the most challenging messages of my career. Earlier today, Diamond made the difficult but necessary decision to file for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. This step is intended to stabilize our financial foundation and protect the most vital aspects of our business. This decision was not made lightly, and I understand that this news may be difficult to hear as it is for me to share. The Diamond leadership team and I have worked tirelessly to avoid this outcome, but the financial challenges we face have left us no other viable option. Chapter 11 will provide us with the opportunity to restructure and address our financial obligations. This process will likely include the sale of key assets of Diamond Comic Distributors." I don't know what that. I wonder who's going to pick up some of that stuff. Also, we have already received a commitment from Universal Distribution to purchase all Alliance Game distributors, coupled with a signed letter of intent to purchase Diamond UK, and remain committed to pursuing offers for all Diamond line of business. This is like, and I'm not going to put this lightly. This is the end of an era. Like, Diamond has been the comic distributor for as long as I can remember, and like, there's been some issues with some shipping stuff lately, even at my local LCS, local comic shop. I'll use LCS a lot when I talk about comic stuff, and this, I mean, it's sad to see, honestly, but it continues because this is obviously from like something that, you know, the comic shop owners are going to have to deal with. But what does this mean for us, the consumers? And that's the next section. What does this mean for you? And he goes on to say, "I want to reassure you that with secured financing in place to support our operations, Diamond Comic Distributors is committed to continuing business as usual throughout this process. Our plan is to continue fulfilling orders in a complete and timely fashion, and we are working hard to minimize any disruptions to your orders." And they said they will be transparent as possible during this process. It will keep you informed of significant developments. If you have any questions, please reference the retailer FAQs below. Also available on our retailer FAQs page, a retailer services website with further inquiries. As always, you can submit a ticket, blah, blah, blah. Thank you for your support. We are committed to your business and assure you that your needs are met as we navigate this process. That's from Chuck Parker, the president of Diamond Comic Distributors. The thing is, I don't know what this means if a new distributor comes in. Like, would this push New Comic Book Day from a Wednesday to a Thursday or a Friday, which is payday, so I can buy more comics? I'm a big fan of physical media, whether it's comics, movies, video games. I don't like buying digital stuff or renting digital stuff. When it comes to comics, if I'm buying a digital comic, it's because I don't have time to go to my LCS and I want to read an issue. And very rarely does that happen as often recently, where I'm like, I need to read this issue right now. Usually, mainly with the Marvel Ultimate run they're doing right now. But I still go and pick up my physical copy. I'm not a fan of the fact that, like, when you buy something digital, you don't own it. Okay, you go and you buy on like the Comixology situation where stuff was being removed, or even with Funimation when it got absorbed into Crunchyroll with Sony. You know, people were losing a lot of their digital purchases and some of their movies. Like, I don't like the idea. It's in the TOS. You go and buy a digital movie on Amazon Prime Video, it could be taken away at any time. You're buying access to the digital file. You don't own that movie, which is why when movies that are still in theaters, or they have the early access to rent it or buy it, and sometimes the early to rent it's $20 and to buy it's like $25, where I'll just wait, pre-order the Blu-ray or 4K, or wait till it's on streaming, and if I like it enough, I'll buy it. But I have a very, I don't want to say impressive, I have a large physical media collection, whether it's my comics, actual books, manga, 4K Blu-rays, regular Blu-rays. I have DVDs like crazy. I even have in the bedroom next to the other TV with a VHS player. I have a nice IKEA shelf filled to the brim with VHS tapes. Like me and my wife do a lot of thrifting for, physical media. We even have like a very impressive CD collection. And there's just something great about physical media. Like a little bit ago, the internet went out in our area because they were upgrading. And I was like, I didn't have internet for almost 2 days. I was like, well, I have my physical video games. I have all this physical media. Let me go back and watch something I haven't watched in a while. But then I end up rewatching things. Like I end up watching Gremlins on Blu-ray again, and I'm like, I love Gremlins. Such a good movie. It's one of my favorites. Great Christmas movie, by the way. And I was like, yeah, this is why I love physical media. Yes, until we get a house, the space is very limited, and there's a convenience to digital products. But I digress. I don't see an overall appeal to having everything in my life digital, and I don't intend to have everything in my life digital. And that's just where I stand on that. Like I don't want. So with Diamond, I'm curious because yes, there's been some delays and things being delivered properly and everything else, but I can wait. I'm not that impatient. I'm just wondering who's going to scoop in, who's going to swoop in and scoop up the assets and everything else, because that's what I want to know. But yeah, that's something developing that I'm going to keep an eye on, especially as someone who collects comics and reads comics. Like my collection's nearing like 9,000 books now in my comics. That's not including like trades and graphic novels and omnibuses. Just from a loose individual comic standpoint, I'm vastly approaching 9,000. So I don't want to, I don't want to stop getting my physical comics. So I'm hoping this gets figured out very quickly. Now, at the time of this going up on YouTube today, we also have from Kyle Higgins, who I'm a big fan. Oh, it's going to block it out. I really got to adjust how this set up. By the way, big fan of Kyle Higgins. Love the Massiverse. I am a Massiverse influencer for full transparency. So on social media and this and that, I do make a lot of Massiverse content and posts. I've been doing this before I even became an influencer with them. I just love the whole Massiverse, and I'm a big fan of Kyle Higgins and Ryan Parrott and Melissa Flores and Matt Grom and all them. Like I'm a huge fan of everything they work on, not just this stuff. I believe my first introduction to Kyle Higgins was it The Gates of Gotham? It was a DC run he did, and then obviously Boom Studios with the Power Rangers and everything else. But once I got into Radiant Black, I follow comic book writers and artists, not just characters, because that's how I find new writers, is when they get attached to characters I'm already a fan of. But then when I become a fan of those writers, I check out all their other stuff they've done. And I do have there will be a lot of Massiverse stuff on here, just because I do buy a lot of stuff as well. They send me stuff, but I also buy, so I double dip a lot. Because I don't always know what I'm getting sent, and everything Massiverse and Black Market Narrative is on my pull list. So there's that. But they're doing a creator live stream today at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We will have Kyle Higgins, Joe Clark, Eduardo Ferragamo, Marcelo Costa, and Michael Busatil. They're on the Massiverse channel. They will be basically doing a whole stream on YouTube going over the next era for Massiverse, which is starting up in February, because Radiant Black is, after the Catalyst War, it kind of went on hiatus. With everything going on, they did have some delays and issues coming out, and also they were doing 2 issues at a time. So it was like, say issue 30 was coming out, well, there was 30A and 30B, and they were 2 different parallel timelines from different perspectives. And now it's back to just one, with who we have as Radiant Black, because for those of you who don't know, there was a time frame where they did a fan vote. There was 2 main characters, Marshall and Nathan, and it was like, hey, you get to vote who gets to be Radiant Black. And then when they were going to tell us, they're like, you'll find out after this Catalyst War arc, and each issue was a version of that timeline, with each one of them being Radiant Black. And now we know who it is. Read it for yourself. I will not spoil that until the next issue comes out in February. And that's that whole run. So I'm really looking forward to this. Um, it's such an ambitious like universe, and there's like the artwork is good, the story is good. Like this is a new IP of superhero that long overdue, very grounded. I think a lot of the like one of my main issues in comics lately has been dialogue. Like I have an issue with dialogue just not being good. And I can deal with lackluster artwork to an extent, and this and that, but if you're not giving me good dialogue, good characters, good interactions that seem realistic, but it's still a comic book, I'm not here for it. Okay. And one of the things I like about Radiant Black is how grounded yet comic book esque it is, like superhero style. Like even the first couple pages of the first issue, our main character is looking at his account balance and how low it is, and he's driving like Uber, like, and he's like, I got all this credit card debt and this and that, and had to move back home with his parents to because of the debt. And it's like, all right, I like where this is going. So if you haven't already, go check out Radiant Black. Go check out the Massiverse. They got Rogue Sun. I'm really hoping that Dead Lucky returns. We have No One, which is a completely immersive and interactive comic book where there's 10 issues. There's a podcast that coincides with each issue. There's so much stuff with that one. I cannot hype those up enough. They're great. And like I said, I was a fan before I became a Massiverse influencer, and I still like pull the stuff even though I get stuff sent to me. Like I'm like, okay, I got more, and every once in a while I'll do a giveaway for them, or give them to friends, be like, hey, you haven't checked this out, and especially when sometimes they have LCS shipping errors or issues and they don't get their stuff, and I'm like, oh no, I got dupes. Don't worry, I got you. Um, Keeping the theme of comic books, really quick, I'm gonna pull this up. So I've been playing way too much Marvel Rivals recently, like way too much, to the point where I'm staying up late. Obviously, due to the gummies and the edibles, I'm sitting there just chilling, just being like, yo, I'll play Marvel Rivals with the boys. Let's go. And we just got Mr. Fantastic and the Invisible Woman, Sue Storm, and obviously everyone's talking about the Malice costume. I went on a little tangent on social media because people were, I guess, misconstruing the story and origin of that form. They cut out a lot of pertinent information to make it seem like it was just a miscarriage that caught, and then Sue Storm snapped. That was not the case. I did a quote retweet with a whole breakdown of the issues because I was like, hey, if you read issue 280 and 281 of Fantastic Four from the mid, was it 85 or 86, you'll get the full origin of the thing, but it always goes back to issue 167. You're bringing something up to, or 260. Was it 180 or 280? I don't remember. I think it was 280 because it was like 267 was that age. So it's like you're bringing up something that happened, 13 to 14 issues ago, which is a full year. A lot of stuff happened in between that. You're literally just trying to rile up people who like this costume to make them feel bad because of what led to this. And that wasn't the case. Obviously, I quote retweeted it with the facts, comic book issue numbers, character names, situations, but that person deleted their tweet after they got all their traction. They did have a blue check mark, so I assume that they paid for it. So I assume they were just trying to get, some Twitter X money for the analytics. But now when I pull it up, their tweet doesn't show. So there's that. You can look on that. But this isn't about that, though. This is about, we have our Spider-Man 2 from Insomniac is going to be a suit coming to Marvel Rivals on January 30th. I do like the suit. It is a good suit. I don't play as Spider-Man, so this is one of the ones where it's like, well, I'm not going to pay for this. I'm not, because I'm not going to buy costumes for characters I don't play as, unless the only reason I'll obtain like costumes and cosmetics is if they're either a part of their season pass or if they do side events like they did with Jeff the Shark. They did the whole side thing for Christmas, and you could play the Jeff the Shark mode and you get a costume. I did that. It was free. I'm not buying costumes for characters I don't play as, but I do like how we're getting the content release, how much stuff we're getting. We're on our second set of Twitch drops right now, which you can get the was it Herald of Galacta costume for Hela. And the first drops for season 0, you could have got that same costume style for Magneto. There's going to be a second part of the Twitch drops when the second half of the season drops, which will include Johnny Storm and the Thing. But I do enjoy like just the content. They even announced officially every 1.5 months they want to release at least 2 characters. So that means every 45 days we're getting 2 more characters added to the roster. Eventually, I will do my whole wish list of who I want to see in the game because I'm having a lot of fun. And full disclosure, I'm learning a character for each class type. So like a tank, a healer, and a DPS. So for healers, I got Rocket that I'm really good as, actually really good as Rocket, and I played a little bit of Sue Storm, but I prefer Rocket, especially because of how well he boosts other DPS. If you have like a Winter Soldier or you have Punisher with you, which leads me to my DPS. Obviously, Punisher is who I play as the most. I've always been a Punisher fan from the comics, movies, and TV shows. I've been all right with, but I'm just been a big fan of the comics. Even when I was younger, they aren't always the best comics. They really aren't, but I did like the character. And then also for the tanky side, I like to play as Captain America, or I'll play as every once in a while Magneto, but mainly just Captain America, just because I I like punching. I wish there was more shield related like throw attacks, but I digress. That's basically my Marvel Rivals lineup. So it's really cool to see how they're supporting these characters and the time frame of things because I'm curious also, and I do have it up. I don't know how I'm going to get this in here. Let me see if I can pull it up on YouTube. Um, let's see, because I have it up on X or Twitter or X, whatever. There we go. I'm going to keep it with Marvel. Next up, we have our teaser trailer for, or no, official trailer. It's not a teaser. I thought on X they said it was a teaser, but it's actually a full trailer. It's 2 minutes long. We have for Daredevil Born Again, and I'm a fan of Daredevil. I don't hate the character. I enjoy the character. I think Frank Miller's run was really freaking good. I was impartial for the Ben Affleck film. I did like the director's cut. It was a little bit better, but Daredevil, I mean, outside of like the Netflix series, the hallway scene, anytime they did those one camera shot fight scenes, I was like, this is so good. I want to see more of this in these style of shows and movies for Marvel. But yeah, let's check this out. Let me wind it back because it kind of started.
Thank you for finding the time.
I will admit, it's not entirely unpleasant seeing you again.
Vincent D'Onofrio is such a good Kingpin, like so good.
By the look of it, you've come up in the world.
I could say the same about you.
The mayor serves his city.
He's the mayor now? Okay, well,
you're not entirely convinced.
Wait, so he's the mayor. So I didn't fully watch. What's that one that I just absolutely did not enjoy? Echo. I didn't finish that, right? But I assume he was in there. And I don't want to get on a tangent, like I said in the beginning of this whole show. I'm not here to be overly negative about things. Echoed in anytime I see anything that has anything to do with Native American characters, this and that, I always just kind of grit my teeth. Like, what are we gonna put in this? Like, what outlandish things are we gonna put in it? But also, it's the point where like I didn't care that Echo was coming out. Like, I just didn't. The amount of MCU shows I've actually watched and finished is very small because I just don't care, honestly. Like, it doesn't. If I see a trailer, it doesn't interest me. I'm not going to force myself to watch it to make content or anything like that. I'm just like, all right, I'm not going to watch this. Like, I think I watched most of like the year 1, year 2 Disney Plus stuff. So like WandaVision, Falcon and Winter Soldier, Loki season 1. I did watch Miss Marvel, but I don't think that was Disney Plus at the time. Um, I tried watching The Secret Invasion. Um, I did watch Agatha along with my wife because she likes witchcraft and witch movies and shows, and I was like, oh, I'll watch it with you. Why not? Then She-Hulk I did watch, and that's it. I don't think I've watched really much of anything else. I don't watch a lot of TV, honestly. No time. I work and doing everything else, and I watch movies more than TV shows, or I'll binge TV shows. I don't watch them when they air. I don't think I'm ever going to watch a lot of the other Disney Plus stuff. Like, I'm sure there's people that like it. For me, it's just not. I just don't care. Like, I'm not going to say stuff is bad or horrible. I just don't. If I see it and it's something that doesn't appeal to me, it goes to the wayside. Like, I'm not gonna, you know, think about it and dwell on it. It's not. That's it, really. Honestly, I guess it's a really rational way of thinking.
Can you blame me? I can't shake the feeling that you're gaming the system.
Why did you stop being a vigilante?
The line was crossed.
It's hard to come to terms with a violent nature. Hating the power it has over us.
This city can't go unchecked.
Wait a minute. Really quick, was that?
Can you blame me? I can't shake the feeling that you're gaming the system.
Why did you stop being a vigilante?
The line was crossed.
I feel like I need to rewatch the first couple seasons.
Nature. Hating the power it has over us.
Very violent, especially because it's coming on Disney Plus.
This city can't go unchecked.
I'm very curious about this.
Sometimes peace needs to be broken. Chaos must reign.
Oh shit!
My pretty
So we got Frank. Okay, so we got Punisher coming back. I knew he was gonna come back. We got the longer hair, bearded Frank Castle. I really want another Punisher season. Like, as much as I want like the show, like I would love to have Punisher in a movie again, Daredevil in a movie again. But they've been, let's face it, they've done really good with the shows. I'm not going to talk about like other, like, how Daredevil was presented in She-Hulk, this and that happened. It was for a laugh and stuff like that. But like I genuinely love the dynamic between how they handled Punisher and Daredevil in the series. Like, so I'm happy they're on screen again.
I was raised to believe in grace.
Okay. Wait, is that White Tiger? Is that White Tiger? Whatever his name is. It is. Oh, I kind of like that suit. I kind of like that. All right, I'm intrigued. They.
I was also
It's-
raised to believe in retribution.
Oh, okay. Oh. Okay. I'm. This. All right. This got me. I'm good with this. This is March 4th. That okay, so we got White Tiger coming in there. We got Punisher, obviously Kingpin. I I know I should probably, like, everyone's probably worried. Oh well, it's Disney Plus. You got to worry. Like, I'm not worried. I'm really not. Like, that looks really good. I'm actually excited for it. I think that's gonna be. Also, I figured out what's going on. It's my green screen thing is acting up, and I don't have my green screen, so I don't know why it's on green screen settings. I'm gonna have to figure out what's going on with that after. Um, so I think that's really cool. I'm excited for it. I am a big fan of Daredevil, like I said. Um, so I'm intrigued to see where this is gonna go in March. Like I didn't even think it was coming out this soon. Like I don't follow a lot of like news stuff. I do, but I just don't like. There's so much stuff constantly being thrown at you. Like, oh, here's a movie announcement. Here's a movie poster. Here's a teaser for a trailer. Here's a teaser to the teaser trailer. Here's an announcement for the trailer. A trailer announcement for announcement of a trailer. And it's like, that's too much. Like, just give me a trailer, give me a release date, and I'm good. You know. So I'm very excited for that. Um, and to round it out for trailers and stuff, we're going to check out the teaser for the Until Dawn movie, which is coming out in April 25th of this year. This is courtesy of Sony Pictures, which I saw it via Discussing Film. So we're going to pull that up. It's kind of going to fill the screen, I guess. Wonder if I can. I wonder if I could pull it up on YouTube. That seems to be a little bit better. Let's see if it's on there. Because as much time as I spend on YouTube, yeah, I spend just as much on Twitter. Here we go. This is okay. I found it on YouTube. Let's go. I hate autoplay. I was gonna load it up. Then wait for the ad to be done. Then I'll pull it up on the screen. All right. I will say preface this by saying I don't know a lot of like people by their names when it comes to like people who work on games and this and that. I'm not good with names, so like I don't recognize faces to names when it comes to that stuff. I'm really bad at that. I blame it on the CTE because of all the concussions, but it's also just a lack of me paying attention, you know. So let's play this. This is them basically a first look at the film. This is on Sony Pictures Entertainment's YouTube channel.
I was a huge fan of the Until Dawn game and how cinematic it was.
Gary Doberman, writer, director, producer.
Without just giving the audience the same experience that they got when they were playing.
The movie has sort of the same tone and the same vibe, but it expands upon the universe.
So we're not getting Until Dawn. Like, it's called Until Dawn. It's set in the same universe as Until Dawn, but it's not Until Dawn. Because Until Dawn is on a cabin, house up on a mountainside in the snow. There's an abandoned asylum in the area. The creatures, spoiler alert, are Wendigos, and it's amazing because we don't get a lot of major budget games or movies with Wendigos. The one of my favorite Wendigo films is Dark Was the Night, direct to DVD and streaming. Came out years ago. We don't get Wendigos proper or ever. It's always a slasher film with a killer, and that's what we're getting in Until Dawn. So it's only 1:06. I'm 20 seconds in. Let's continue this.
I'm very proud to be part of this evolution onto a screen.
So we have our dude back. So for those who don't know, in the game, he plays Dr. Hill in Until Dawn, the therapist without the beard. He's playing someone named Hill in this movie, but because it's not Until Dawn, the game, he's just playing someone named Hill as kind of like maybe a cameo. I don't know.
One of the creative things the game did is that people make different choices and die in different ways. The movie has this mechanic where things start over and they get to try again.
Oh god, we got time shenanigans. Time loops, time shenanigans. Is this like what's that movie? Happy Death Day? Like that's what this is, but with a group of people instead of one person who basically dies over and over again and relives the same day like Groundhog Day until they solve who tries to kill them. This has nothing to do with Until Dawn. Nothing to do.
What just happened?
Every time they come back to life, it's like they're in a new horror genre. To survive, they have to make it until dawn.
I don't got the whole thing. Trailer coming soon. So this is just a first look. Obviously, on discussing film, they have basically what I just said. The film follows a group of friends stalked by a mass killer and stuck in a time loop, with the only way to escape is to survive until dawn. In theaters, April 25th. I wanted to. I mean, you already see like one of the top things is I don't think they understand what Until Dawn was about. Where's the snow? Where's the Wendigo? Like, I get it. This is a new take on the series, but it looks so sauceless. When you're adapting such good source material, why go completely different direction? Like, as a huge fan of Until Dawn and how cinematic was, I thought a lot about how can we just not give the audience anything that they're actually looking forward to and not create anything that they liked about the game. There we go. It bothers me that the game is known for its blue color and cool lighting. In this movie, there's so much about Until, like, mind you, Until Dawn is one of my favorite PS4 games. I have played it excessively. I platinumed it. I have replayed it when I was back when I used to stream. I did a marathon streaming it over and over, like basically until I got all the endings. I did just recently buy the PS5 version of the game. Physically, obviously. No, I'm just kidding. I didn't get it. I didn't buy it. I was gonna, but I haven't because I was like, man, $60. I was like, that's a lot in this economy. But I do plan on picking it up at some point. But it's just one of those things where I'm like, how does this feel so soulless compared to what the game was? There's a lot, and like I get it. Like you probably can't get Remy and Hayden Panettiere and all of them. I mean, yes, you got Hill, that the guy who did the game, to be in this movie, but it's like you could make Until Dawn as a film, because let's face it, the amount of people who probably played that game compared to the general audience that would go see the movie, it's not so out of the realm of possibility that you could actually adapt the game and make some changes but keep the setting, the characters, the plot the same, because not everyone has play the game. Plus, let's face it, not a lot of people replay those games. Like the casual gamers aren't going to replay that game 7 or 8 times to get every ending, to get the platinum. Like, and it's one of the things, like, everything is serial killer slasher films lately. Like, we need, like, if Nosferatu, like, I consider that a creature film, but we have Wolfman coming out. We had Werewolves last month, which was a lot of fun. Creature films are making a comeback. You can make a creature film. It doesn't need to be a slasher. Not everything has to be freaking a killer stalking people in a house. And now that you're adding a time loop of shenanigans, I don't know. Like, I'm gonna see this movie like when it comes out for sure, 100%. But only because I'm such a fan of Until Dawn and I want to see where it goes. But at the same time, this is another Sony. I'll say it's a Sony IP, even though Supermassive Games, they make, the Dark Pictures anthology, which is multi-platform and PC. They have things like, Man of Medan. They did The Quarry. They did The Devil in Me, Little Hope, and there's another one too. I always forget. There's multiple ones, and they're great games, all just like Until Dawn, with you set amount of characters, the decisions matter, characters can die, but the story still continues. It just changes things around. But Until Dawn I consider a Sony IP because it was exclusive to the PlayStation, and they don't have a really good track record. Like, I enjoyed Uncharted as a popcorn flick. The Tomb Raider film they did wasn't bad. It was more based on the remake or reboot of the franchise, and it wasn't bad. Walter Goggins was in it, so I'm a big fan of his, and I will enjoy anything that he's in because he's a good actor. But it's like one of those things where it's like, anytime a Sony IP is getting a film, it's like, look at how I have to bring up the most recent examples: Sonic and the Mario Brothers. Those were good films, great of an existing IP. Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City, I know a lot of people hated it. I enjoyed it, even though they combined Resident Evil 1 and 2 and cut out a lot of stuff, and maybe some casting choices were bad and how they showed off some of the characters like Leon. Like, I wasn't a fan of that, but it was a entertaining and good Resident Evil movie. It was better than the supernatural, overpowered psychic stuff we got in the Anderson, like, film franchise. I don't know how many there were, like 6 or 7 of them. And now we're getting another reboot of the franchise that's going to be based off of Resident Evil 0 with a different director and a different team. And it's like video game adaptations aren't that difficult. You have all the source material right there for you. You can modify some stuff, maybe cut some stuff out and add a little bit, but you don't need to make it the complete opposite of what it is. And that's what Until Dawn seems like. And I'm trying not to be negative. I'm trying not to be a hypocrite of when I say I want to be excited for stuff and I don't want to be negative. But Until Dawn is something I care about and I like a lot. It's one of my favorite video games. And it sucks, honestly. But like I said, this is just basically an announcement behind the scenes trailer for the actual trailer that's coming soon. So once we see the full trailer, I could probably have a better opinion on it, but I feel like I'm not going to. It may end up being a good movie, but if it's a good movie and a fun movie, I'll enjoy it, but I don't think it's going to be a good Until Dawn adaptation. But that's it. That's all I have for news stuff and movies and stuff to talk about today. And obviously, if you're watching this, you're new to the channel because everyone's new to the channel. So if you can hit the subscribe button, like the video, let me know what you think of all these announcements before. Like, are you excited for Daredevil? What do you think of Until Dawn? Like all this other stuff. Like I'm curious to see. I'm gonna go through more of the comments on YouTube and see what it looks like. So I might make I might bring that up on the next video I do. As of right now, this will be weekly. Eventually, my goal is to have it live so I can do this. I will be doing that once I have another channel. I have another podcast. I have a lot of other stuff. So, yeah. But I thank you guys for watching or listening. There will be an RSS feed for a audio version of this that I have to set up still. This is the Oh Hi Mark podcast. I thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.